Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, I will be sharing how I crochet this adorable Pokemon gift set. I've got a Slouchy beanie, a Pokemon ball, keychain, and a card holder. Let's begin. We're going to start with the card holder. I'm using white acrylic yarn and a 3.5 millimeter hook. We're going to work our way from down to up. And this card is an example of the size of the pouch I'm making. And this pouch measures about 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So let's begin by doing a chain of 15. I wanted to make this pouch slightly larger than this card. So you can be able to fit, a handful of cards in there, maybe even more than that. So those are my 15 chains, and as you can see, I'm making it slightly wider than the width of this card. So once you do your 15 chains, we're going to begin doing single crochet starting from the second chain from the hook and do 14 single crochets across this side of the chains, and then do 14 single crochets on the other side of the chains. For this round, you'll be completing a total of 28 single crochets. Here I am completing the end of row 1. Go ahead and slip stitch to that first single crochet and chain 1. For rows 2 through 9, we are doing 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So for rows 2 through 9, 1 single crochet around, completing 28 single crochets for each round. And from here on out, the entire project is pretty much 28 single crochets for each row, except for the last row. And we're going to do a couple of color changes on the way. So go ahead and complete rows 2 through 9, and I'll meet you when you're done. Here I am at the end of my round. Slip stitch to that first single crochet and fasten off your white yarn. Insert your hook back into that first single crochet and pull through the black yarn to attach it. Pull through and do a chain 1. For this round, we are going to do slip stitches. I wanted to share this technique when it comes to color changes. When you do a slip stitch, it creates a clean edge. And I thought it was a really cool technique, especially when the two colors are very contrast with the white and the black. It creates a clean looking edge. So for this round, go ahead and do 28 slip stitches. And here I am at the end of my round. And as you can see, the slip stitches sit on the side of the previous round. So what we're going to do, we're going to insert our hook to the front loop of the black yarn and the 2 loops of the white yarn from the previous round. I like the way it looks. It gives it a clean looking edge, but this is totally optional. I just wanted to share a technique I do sometimes when I do my color changes. So for this round, let's see, round 11, we are going to do one single crochet in each stitch around with the black yarn. So when you insert your hook, I wanted to show you here, hopefully you can get a good look. I insert my hook through the front loop of the back of the black yarn and through both loops of the white yarn. It could be a little, I don't know, I feel like sometimes the tension is really hard, but you just got to hold it nice and taut and just insert your hook and pull the yarn. So go ahead and complete 28 single crochets for this round, and I'll meet you when you're done. Here I am at the end of round 11. Slip stitch to that first single crochet and fasten off your black yarn. Now we're going to repeat the same steps of that we did with the black yarn. Insert your hook and attach the red yarn. Pull it through and do a chain one. So for this round, we're going to do 28 slip stitches around. Here I am at the end of round 12. For rounds 13 through 19, we are going to do one single crochet in each stitch around, completing 28 single crochets for each round. Go ahead and complete your rounds, and I'll meet you when you're done. I've completed row 19 and we're going to work on our last row. And before we do so, you want to lay your project nice and flat because we're going to add some stitch markers. As you can see, my starting chain kind of shifts there, but that's normal with tension. So you want to lay your project flat and try to find the center. So right here I made a stitch marker. So for stitch 10 and 11, I'm going to skip those two. And right there, that black yarn, that's stitch number 24. That's where I'm going to add the strap. So for you, it may be off a few stitches or it may be spot on, but just lay your project flat and try to find the center so you can add your stitch markers. So right here, I'm going to do 9 single crochets. Once I get to my stitch marker, I will remove that. So this right here is my 9th single crochet. Do a chain 2, skip 2, and do a single crochet. So I will continue to do my single crochets until I reach stitch number 24. That's where I'm going to attach the strap. So here is stitch number 24. And at this point, I did a chain of 40. I thought that was a good length for little hands so they can put this around their wrist as a little carry case. So once you do your chains, go ahead and slip stitch into that same chain, into that same stitch, and finish off your round with the remaining 4 single crochets left. Slip stitch to that first single crochet and fasten off. And of course, weave in the ends. Very easy, very simple, and I think it was a good size. My kids were able to test this out and they were able to fit 25 Pokemon cards in this little pouch. So now let's add the circle. We are going to create the circle by completing 10 half double crochets in the magic ring. Once you've completed this round, slip stitch to the top of that first half double crochet and fasten off your white yarn. For the next round, we are going to work in the back loops only. So insert your hook into that first back loop stitch, pull through the black yarn and chain 1. In this round, we are going to do 1 single crochet in each of the back loops only, completing 10 single crochet for this round. Once you complete this round, go ahead and tie off your excess yarn and snip it off. So at this point, you can choose to hot glue your circle on or sew it on. I chose to hot glue it on. That's not going anywhere. And also a friendly tip is I take a lighter and I put it close to my project there, and it helps get rid of yarn fuzzies. And there we have it, friends. It's very easy as that. A nice little pocket carry case. And a friendly tip, if you wanted to make the whole gift set, you can make 2 of those circles because you'll need another one for the keychain. Speaking of keychain, let's get started. So with our red yarn, we are going to complete 7 single crochets in the magic ring. For round 2, we are going to do 7 increases. An increase is doing 2 single crochets in each stitch around. That will complete a total of 14 single crochets for round 2. For round 3, we are going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and an increase in the second. Repeat this pattern all the way around, completing a total of 21 single crochets for round 3. To begin round 4, we are going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches and an increase in the third. Repeat this pattern all the way around, completing a total of 28 single crochets for round 4. For rounds 5 through 8, do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, completing 28 single crochets for each round. At the end of row 8, go ahead and fasten off your red yarn and attach your black yarn. For round 9, we are going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, completing a total of 28 single crochets for round 9. At the end of round 9, fasten off the black yarn. And then at this point, we are going to be working with the white yarn now. So insert your hook into that first single crochet and pull through the white yarn. For rows 10 through 13, we are going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, completing 28 single crochets for each round. Complete your rows and I'll meet you at the end of row 13. Here I am at the end of row 13. And to begin row 14, we are going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease. That's 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches and a decrease. So decrease is you insert your hook, pull the yarn through, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull your yarn through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That is a decrease. Follow the pattern all the way around, completing a total of 21 single crochets for this round. For row 15, we are going to do 1 single crochet and 1 decrease. Follow this pattern all the way around, completing a total of 14 single crochets for round 15. At this point, I chose to stuff my keychain there. You can choose to put as much stuffing as you like, but I'm pretty generous with it. I like it nice and firm. So for this last round, for round 16, we are doing 7 decreases all the way around. We're going to complete 7 stitches for this last round. Once you complete round 16, fasten off and leave a long tail and attach your tapestry needle. That last opening there, I pull my needle through the front loops only to close it out, and I just weave in my ends there. And we're almost done. Here is the circle I made, which is the same pattern as the one I made for the card holder. And you can choose to hot glue it or sew it on. I chose to hot glue it. It's pretty secure on there. And the last step is to attach the keychain. I have different kinds of keychain, but I'm using this type here. I ordered this on Amazon. It was like a bulk of 100 for I think $4 or $5. It's really easy for little hands to put on and off, so I thought I'd go with that this time. And as you can see here, I'm using a smaller hook. I think this is a 2mm hook, but you can use whatever works for you. I was able to pull the chain through there, and I'm doing it in the first round, right at the very top. I'm just pulling it through from one side to the other and attaching it on. And there we have it, friends. Easy as that. Clean off the little bits that came out. And there we have it. A cute little keychain. Alrighty, let's move on to the hat. So I designed this hat as a slouchy beanie look. I'm a big fan of that look, and I also think it looks adorable on children. So if you're a fan of the slouchy beanie, this pattern may be for you. And also, I made this gift set for a 7-year-old, and it fits them perfectly. I also tried it on a 9-year-old, and it fits them as well. A bit snug, but it works. But if you wanted to make it for a grown-up, this pattern is very versatile. You can add an increase round to make it a little bigger for an older child or for a grown-up. Or if you want to make it smaller, you can remove a round or two of the increase rounds and it'll be smaller. So really you can design it for anyone. So I just wanted to touch base on that real quick before we move on with the pattern. So for the first round, as you can see it on the screen, we'll do 12 double crochets into the magic ring for round 1. And for round 2, we'll do 1 double crochet in the first stitch and then increase in the second, completing 18 double crochets for round 2. To begin round 3, we are going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches and an increase in the third. Repeat this pattern all the way around, completing a total of 24 double crochets for round 3. To begin round 4, we're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches and an increase in the fourth. Follow this pattern all the way around, completing a total of 30 double crochets for round 4. And I just wanted to mention that my starting 2 chains do not count as a double crochet. To begin round 5, we are going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches and an increase in the 5th. Follow this pattern all the way around, completing a total of 36 double crochets for round 5. To begin round 6, we're going to do another increase round. We're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches and an increase in the 6th. Follow the pattern all the way around, completing a total of 42 double crochets for round 6. This is what our pattern is looking like so far. And to begin round 7, we are doing 1 double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches and an increase in the 7th. Follow this pattern all the way around, completing a total of 48 double crochets for round 7. And to begin round 8, we are doing 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches and an increase in the 8th. Complete the pattern all the way around, totaling 54 double crochets for round 8. For round 9, we are doing 1 double crochet in each of the next 8 stitches and an increase in the 9th. Follow the pattern all the way around, completing a total of 60 double crochets for round 9. For round 10, we are doing 1 double crochet in each of the next 9 stitches and an increase in the 10th. Complete this pattern all the way around, totaling 66 double crochets for round 10. So now we are done with the increases. So for round 11 through 15, we are simply doing 1 double crochet in each stitch around, completing 66 double crochets for each round. Complete your rounds and I'll meet you at the end of row 15. Here I am approaching the end of row 15. And then at this point, fasten off the red yarn and insert your hook into the top of that first double crochet and pull the black yarn through. Pull it through and do a chain 2. And remember, my chain 2 does not count as a double crochet. So for this round, for round 16, we are going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch around, completing a total of 66 double crochet for round 16. Here is the end of round 16. Go ahead and slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet and fasten off. And insert your hook back into that first double crochet and pull through the white yarn. Pull through and chain 2. So for rows 17 through 28, we are doing 1 double crochet in each stitch around, completing 66 double crochet for each round. And remember to tie in your ends or weave them in. I usually just create a couple of knots and snip off the excess. So go ahead and complete your rounds and I'll meet you at the end of row 28. So here I am at the end of row 28. Slip stitch to the top of that double crochet and fasten off. And remember to weave in your end there. And there we have it, folks. There is our slouchy beanie. And this is a great size to do a small fold at the end, and fits the 7-year-old perfectly. So now let's work on the center circle. With the white yarn, we are going to do 12 double crochet in the magic ring. Once you complete your 12 double crochet, close out your magic ring, nice and tight there. Insert your hook into the top of that first double crochet and chain 2. For round 2, we are going to do 12 increases. We're going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch around, completing a total of 24 double crochets for round 2. Here I am approaching the end of round 2. Slip stitch to that first double crochet and fasten off. And we'll need the black yarn for round 3, so insert your hook into that first double crochet and pull the black yarn through and chain 1. For round 3, we are going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and an increase in the second stitch. Complete the pattern all the way around until you have a total of 36 single crochet for this round. And once you're done with round 3, fasten off and tie in your ends and cut off the excess. And at this point, if you wanted to, you could hot glue your circle on or you could sew it on. I chose to hot glue it on. It's pretty secure. So there we have it, friends. There is our beanie made for our 7-year-old, and now it's time to do the pom-pom. I'm using this book here to create my pom-pom. It's about 4 inches in length. And what I do is I'll take my yarn and I'll just wind it around the book like this until I feel like it's full enough to create a large pom-pom. So I did count, and I did about 180 loops around this book. And if you wanted to, it could be less, it could be more, but because the hat is for a child, I didn't want the pom-pom to be too big or too heavy, so I looped it around this book about 180 times. So now I am taking a piece of yarn and I'm putting it in the opposite direction. And I'm carefully sliding off the yarn from the book. And let me tell you, friends, this took some practice for me because this part here can be a little messy if you lose your grip. But this time I got pretty lucky. Everything was still intact. So with this piece of yarn, I am now tying this bundle together. I'm tying the bundle, I'm making a couple of knots on one side, and then I'll bring the yarn around on the other side to secure it. I know sometimes it can get a little messy, especially in this part. But if you just part the loops, you'll be able to see where the center is. It took me a couple of practices. I felt confident making these pom-poms maybe in my 5th or 6th try. By now, I've done these so many times now. So I'll create a couple of knots here. And now that piece of strand, those 2 pieces of strand, I mean, I'll wrap them around my finger and I'll use it as leverage to start cutting and shaping the pom-pom. So what I do first, I take my scissors and I will cut the yarn. You can see the loops of those yarns. I'll cut them. And now they're just all loose pieces of yarn there. And at this time, you just want to take your time shaping the pom-pom. You just want to move it around, give it a little shake here and there, and even use your fingers to kind of comb the yarn through. And just shape it as you like. It doesn't have to be perfect, friends. This is a handcrafted item, so it doesn't need to be perfect. But as you can see, it's a nice fluffy little pom-pom. It's nice and full. And what I did there, I took those 2 strands and I put them in through the very first round of this hat. You can see the inside there. I use that as leverage as well to hold it down when I glue the pom-pom in place. So I take my hot glue and I add a very generous amount to the very center of the pom-pom and very carefully put it at the very tip of the hat, and I use the strings from the inside to pull it down. And there we have it, friends. There's our gift set. I think this is a great gift. Nice handcrafted item. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate your time. I hope you give this a go. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Thank you, friends. Bye.